Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today is Tuesday, November 11, 2008, and today we're reading Genesis chapter 43. And this is really a continuation of yesterday's chapter, what we learned yesterday. I only touched on a brief portion yesterday, but if you read through it, then you saw what was the result of, Jacob sending his sons to Egypt to get food because there was a famine in the land of Canaan. So he sent his sons. He held back his youngest son, Benjamin. But he sent them, and Joseph was the one in charge of distributing food, and they didn't, of course, recognize Joseph because it's been so many years. But they got, and you'll see in 43, they got some food. They were sent back with some food, but it only lasted for a little while. And now in this chapter, as we read, we see now Judah even reminding Jacob of his own lesson from, and the lesson that we brought up yesterday of, if we sit around here, we're going to die. But why don't we just all go down, which is what was required for them. Joseph had required for Benjamin and all the brothers to come back. So Judah's reminding Jacob of that same lesson he taught. Why don't we just all go down? Because if we sit around here, we're going to die. And I believe that's a powerful lesson for life that we can get today, even starting off with yesterday's lesson, but just building upon it, that sometimes, doing something out of the ordinary isn't just enough, because what Jacob did yesterday was he sent the majority of his sons. He didn't send all of his sons. And we see here that in order to get the blessing that they wanted, they need to send all the sons. And in our own lives, sometimes there's things that we want, that we desire, that we feel that we deserve, but you can't do it. You can't half step, or you can't even do the majority. You have to sometimes put your all into it in order to get that result that you want to get. So that's an important lesson for life that I think we can, even building off of yesterday's lesson, that when you're stepping out on faith or stepping out to do something out of the ordinary, you can't just do it just a little bit or even a lot, but you have to put your all into it sometimes to get that all result. So something I brought up yesterday too about, Jacob and his sons, they didn't fail because they got food, and they got some food to sustain them for a while, but there wasn't the full blessing that they were looking for, the full reward I guess they were looking for making that step to even travel into Egypt, because they didn't put their all into it. They didn't send all the sons. They kept Benjamin back. So what we need to learn from that is, in order to get the things we want in our life, we have to put our all into it. Send all of our sons. And you'll see, like I said, they didn't fail, but the only true failure would be if they didn't even give it a shot. If they just waited back and just sat back and waited till they died, and they didn't give it a shot. So even in our own life, it's not a failure if you give it an attempt. The only failure would be if you don't even attempt it. But then when you make that attempt, you want to put your full step forward. Don't just get half-stepping. Don't do just a little bit or even the majority. You want to do all of it so you can get the full result of what you're looking for. And we'll also see in this chapter, even as they go into Egypt, as Jacob is now sending them into Egypt, when he's going to send all his sons, that he sends a gift with them of, it says, the honey, of nuts, almonds, spices, and myrrh, which is interesting because we learned about the gift before and how the gift can open doors for you earlier in Genesis. But it's interesting because now they're looking for food, but then yet they're still sending nuts and almonds and spices and honey. So they're actually sending food in order to get back food. So that's an interesting thing that we can kind of consider. Just like I said before, we discussed about sending a present and how a present or a gift can open up doors for you. And so Jacob's not only sending all of his sons, but he's also sending fruits and some of the presents as we just mentioned. So that's today's Lessons for Life, about putting your all into everything that you're doing, so you can get that full result. Not just doing the majority, but doing all of it and getting that full manifestation of the blessing you're looking for. Alright, so that was it for today. Go ahead and create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today. Put your all into everything you're doing. Don't just do partial. Put all into it, and you'll get that all result. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.